Welcome back to Burned Notice, the series that analyzes the actions of Michael Weston and his team. If you are new to the series, there's a link to the playlist down in the description. This episode begins with Michael meeting up with Fee at her house, and she is jealous of the dossier from the previous episode. Mike then tries to give her closure from the other night, but fails miserably. Next, Mike and Fee go to the beach to relax, which doesn't make sense. Mike hates beaches for their poor cover and inability to hide a gun in a swimsuit. Anyway, Fee has other plans. After Bly was sticking his nose in her business, she opts for being a bounty hunter instead of running guns, with one of her bounties staying nearby. As they see their target, Tom McKee, another bail bondsman, Wayne Ray, is attempting to score on Fee's prize. This is where Mike and Fee split up in order to distract Wayne and catch Tom. Tom then confesses his innocence, playing on Fee and Mike's heartstrings. When they get back to Fee's, Tom remarks on Fee's snow globe. As Fee explains to Mike, Tom is offering double the bounty to clear his name. Then Tom goes over how he got framed for stealing a $2 million brooch that looks like a spider, and that the person who stole it used his access key in order to frame him. After hearing the story, Mike and Fee discuss where he would be staying while working the job, and Mike offers for Tom to stay at Fee's, to the bewilderment of Fee, because she finds it weird that Mike doesn't care that another guy is staying with her, which sets up their conflict for the rest of the episode. Afterwards, Sam meets with Barry to attempt to find who is selling the brooch, and unfortunately the brooch is extremely recognizable, so it won't make it on the market very soon. However, Sam gets a name, Christo. He only has one name, and it's interesting because while Barry and Sam spitfire famous people with only one name, Sam says Spider-Man, which is a reference to Sam's actor being on the original Spider-Man films. Anyway, Barry then explains how to find him, and next we see Christo arriving home and Mike subduing him. Mike then steals the phone and starts calling people to force Christo to give up the information that Mike needs. And after one phone call, Christo sings like a canary, informing Mike about the cellar back at the loft. Mike is going through the dossier when Sam shows up to give him some advice due to Fee ferociously talking to Sam. However, he was asking about the guy who put the burn notice together, a guy named Philip Cowan, who works for the NSA. And for right now, that's all we actually know about him. After that, Mike goes to Fee's to discuss the job, with Fee trying to get Mike jealous by flirting with Tom. Also, Mike inquires for Fee's help in order to force Philip's hand, which Fee suggests using Libyans. Next, back at the hotel where the brooch was stolen, Mike and Sam go over who the thief is, who just so happens to own the hotel, and just needed a fall guy. Turns out Lawrence is the man in question, because after acquiring the hotel, he isn't able to recoup the money quick enough. As they're explaining this to Tom, Wayne shows back up. Tom and Fee escape, and as Mike is fighting Wayne, he realizes Wayne is too strong for him. However, Fee saves him by using one of her snow globes, which she collects and is brought up sometimes in the series, but it's not super important. However, this forces Tom to stay at the loft, and while they are there, they go over the plan with Tom, with Mike accusing Fee of flirting with Tom. Afterwards, Mike gets Sam to play middleman for him. This gets Sam, as Charles Finley, to meet with Lawrence to discuss the details of the sale of the brooch. Next, in a parking garage, Mike meets with a Libyan named Anwar in order to get him to ask about Philip Cowan. Next, Mike returns to the loft to see Fee and Tom eating dinner and becoming slightly jealous. Then Mike and Sam meet up with Lawrence in order to deal with him, and Mike tries to convince Lawrence to show him the physical brooch to no avail. Lawrence just shows Mike a picture of it it. Unfortunately, Mike and Lawrence can't make a deal they both enjoy, causing a bit of a setback. While back at the loft, Mike switches gears to...
Christ, this is turning into a full psych-op campaign.
Next, Mike meets with the Libyans again, where he meets with Anwar, and they discuss a potential partnership, and Mike offers information to Anwar, which he counters, but Mike counters in a better way.
Why don't I just make you tell me, then kill you?
You could do that. The information might or might not check out. Torture's unreliable, as you know, and then you'd have to deal with Fiona, who put me in touch with you. More trouble than it's worth. Trust me.
And Mike attempts to convince Anwar to help him. Next, we see the team compromise the security measures at Lawrence's place by knocking out the cameras, scattering cigarette butts, and even bribing one of the security guards. Then Lawrence is calling Sam in order to sell the brooch, forcing Mike to meet with Lawrence at the hotel, where Mike sees Christo bloodied and tied to a chair. This is another instance that Mike should have died. Here's one for the counter. However, Mike thinks fast and holds Lawrence hostage, allowing for Mike's escape. However, this foils the original plan, and back at the loft, they discuss possible solutions to their problem. Then Sam meets with Barry, who discloses where Lawrence is going to stash the brooch. Meanwhile, Mike meets up with Anwar to deliver Mike's info and also ensure Philip Cowan would be contacted by them. After that, Lawrence is moving the brooch using SUVs. However, at the bank, Sam is creating a situation that looks like a fake bank robbery in order to get the police involved. Also, Fee gets to block traffic. And for the cherry on top, Mike calls Lawrence to inform him there is a gunman on the roof, forcing his men to take their guns out to sell the fact that the guards are actually doing the bank robbery. This is where the cops find the brooch in Lawrence's possession. We then see Fee and Mike briefly, and they discuss why Mike helped Tom, with Mike admitting he did it for Fee, showing that he actually cares for her. Next, Wayne meets up with Fee in order to give up Tom. However, Wayne calls his boss and realizes Tom is innocent. As Tom is packing up to leave, Philip Cowan calls Mike, angry about the Libyans sending him a fruit basket. Finally, Tom pays them, and Fee shines him off due to her feelings for Mike, and Mike does end up giving her a snow globe, which shows his affection and appreciation. This episode had a great balance of figuring out what was happening with the burn notice and helping the client. We also learn about the man who burned Michael, and it seems like he is close to figuring all of this out. And this episode made great strides in enforcing Mike and Fee's relationship in an extremely organic way. That's it for this episode. If you're curious of how an elite FBI team solves cases using behavioral analysis, watch my other series, Inside Criminal Minds. Link in the description. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe.